Canada's nasty. They are. They're nasty. People think Canada, they're nasty. People, I love the people, but they're nasty. Remember I used to say that tariffs are my favorite word. I love tariffs. They're my favorite word in the dictionary. Tariff. I love tariffs, right? Because we've been screwed by tariffs used against us for years by China, by Japan, by South Korea, by Germany, by everybody, by Canada. Canada's nasty. They are. They're nasty. People think Canada, they're nasty. People, I love the people, but they're nasty. Nasty leadership. And Mexico, they all did it to us. But now that doesn't work anymore because we turned the table on everybody. That's why you're seeing numbers like you've never seen before.
Canada just embarrassed Donald Trump for the second time in one day. Now, if you missed it earlier today, Donald Trump was crying a river because Canada is airing a commercial in the U.S. that discusses the dangers to the U.S. economy of tariffs. And Donald Trump thought he could show Canada by saying he was going to stop all trade negotiations with them. Well, Mark Carney responded by saying, I don't care. I'm headed to Asia anyways to secure trade deals that you thought you would get. That's right. Canada is taking the trade deals that Donald Trump promised he would get. Remember 90 deals in 90 days? Never happened. But Mark Carney has already secured a trade deal with Indonesia. He's in Malaysia securing another. And he said he's going to all of the economic powers in Asia, which includes China. Donald Trump thought he could control the world, that the world would come begging to him to make trade deals. Remember, he said they were on the phone begging, please, we'll do anything to make a trade deal. Well, Mark Carney and the rest of the world are saying, go pound sand, Donald, because we're moving on without you. And all of his threats are now empty and hollow.
This is a question for Canadians. Do you think that we, as Canadians, Mark Carney, the Liberals, should make a deal, even pursue a deal with Donald Trump, the Trump administration? Trump right now is attacking us. 50% more tariffs. Because, I don't know, man, he's dying, hopefully. Man, that would be so sweet if he was dying. I want him to die so bad. And, of course, that makes us very angry, because, I mean, he's attacking our country. He's waging economic warfare against us. America has been for, almost 2 years now, waging war against us, economic war. Trump even said he was going to do it, right? And all of us were like, oh, fuck. Like, I know I am. But now I'm thinking like, okay, should we retaliate? Nah. No. Should we be pursuing a deal with the Americans? Nope. No. Because we had a deal. Kuzma, or the Americans call it USMCA. It's happening. It was negotiated with Donald Trump, and he broke that deal. Like, he's been kind of breaking the deal, but now with these tariffs, his tariffs before, they were only on things that were exempt because of Kuzma, right? That's like 90% of shit. We actually had really low tariffs, but now it goes against Kuzma. He broke Kuzma. So, why would we make a fucking deal with the Americans? The point of a deal is that both sides abide by the deal. And Donald Trump just said, I don't care. I'm going to do whatever I want. There's a deal in place and I'm just going to break it. Because he's a petulant, diaper-shitting child, right? He got slighted by Carney at FIFA, and he just had to throw a temper tantrum. So 50% more tariffs. Fuck. One thing that Canadians have that we're so good at is just passive aggression. Americans take themselves so seriously. They're like, this is serious. What I'm doing is serious and it's important. And we can look and be like, really? Is it, buddy? You're wearing that? You're doing that now? It's very cutting. It must be infuriating. I mean, I think Canadians, we're pretty exempt from that because we deliver it so well. But Americans, they take themselves so seriously. Let's just fucking ignore them. When it comes to trade, everything else, like, I'm still gonna be attacking everything to do with that fucking Nazi fascist regime down there. But as far as trade goes, just fucking ignore them, man. Trump's going to be dead soon. He'll be out of office in 2 years. He's going to be completely kneecapped after the midterms. Let's just fucking ignore the piece of shit and all the pieces of shit around him, like that sack of shit Pete Hoekstra. Fuck that guy. And all the Canadians who for some reason still fucking support Trump. Separatists and motherfuckers like that. Ignore them too. Fuck them all. So what do you think we should do? Should we make a deal with Trump? No. Fuck that guy. Fuck MAGA. Let me know your thoughts.
Canada and the USA are known as one of the two closest allies in the world. They have traded together and protected each other. But today, Canada has made one thing clear, that they're not going to be pressured into changing their position. Instead of backing down, they have strengthened ties with other trading partners who show respect and not intimidation. So let's have a look. Please like and hype the video and let me know your thoughts in the comments, alright? Let's get into it.
Donald Trump has made many threats against Canada since, of course, becoming president of the United States again back in January. He has threatened tariffs on them and then threatened more tariffs, and then after that he threatened even more tariffs and more and more and more. And in between all of that, he has repeatedly insulted Canadian leaders, including former Prime Minister Trudeau, calling him Governor Trudeau, and repeatedly told us that Canada would be the greatest 51st state of the great United States, and if they did that, he would treat them like his favorite child, Ivanka, and, they wouldn't have to pay any tariffs. But he's made lots of threats against Canada. And the thing is, you can't exactly do that and expect for the country to still consider you a top ally. And a poll that was released this week proves that Donald Trump's rhetoric and his actions against Canada have possibly forever tarnished America's reputation in their minds.
So sources close to Donald Trump say that he is genuinely shocked and speechless that Canada is looking at the possibility of retaliating against the United States of America again for the United States putting 50% tariffs on Canada. Apparently, according to a source, he was expecting Canada to bend the knee and just roll over. Folks, the source for this is the Alternate. My name is Nick. Let me know what you think about this in the comments. I'd love you guys to give me a follow. Let me know what you think. Trump is shocked that we want to remain to be free.
Do you want proof that Trump is ruining the economy? Check this out. This is out of New Hampshire. The number of Canadian tourists visiting New Hampshire is down 30% this year, officials say. That's right, down 30%. And places like New Hampshire and Maine and bordering states of Canada rely heavily on tourism, especially in the summertime, as Canadians come down for vacations, spend food at restaurants, put gas in their trucks and cars and all that sort of stuff. So what they usually get in those New England states, take off a third of it this year. And in that article, it suggests a variety of factors, including Donald Trump's tariff wars and also the fact that we are sending the military into our cities now, which tourists don't really like too much. And we're seeing similar numbers of tourists coming from Europe and Asia being down 20, 30, 40% this year. So it's about Donald Trump because they came last year and now this year they're not coming. This is going to subtract tens, if not hundreds of billions of dollars out of the economy. The summer months in the U.S. are our best tourism seasons. And we're not going to see this just yet because the summer's not over. But in the fall, we're going to start seeing some really, really serious problems with job losses and the economy slowing down. And these are all because of Donald Trump's tariff wars and ICE nonsense across the country. It turns out people don't want to go to a police state for their vacations, and we're suffering the consequences. So this is just another one of those stepping on rake situation where if he had done nothing, these numbers would be similar to last year, and instead we're losing billions of dollars a year. This guy is the most anti-jobs president we have ever had.
If you're a Canadian who's chosen not to go to the U.S., well, they have the old Cheeto fascist in charge down there, give yourselves a pat on the back. We cost that administration $3 billion in tourism funds. I feel pretty good about that.
So our friends in Canada are continuing their boycott of the United States. And this article per CBC News says U.S. tourism faces $5.7 billion loss as Canadians continue to stay home. And the article reads, many Canadians continue to boycott travel to the United States, and the U.S. economy is paying the price. A U.S. Travel Association report forecasts a 3.2% decline in international tourism spending in the country for 2025, a loss of $5.7 billion U.S. compared to the previous year. The association largely attributes the loss to a decline in the number of Canadian visitors, a trend that has persisted since U.S. President Donald Trump returned to office in January, sparked a trade war with Canada, and began referring to the country as the 51st state. Also, I would like to add the fact that I think a lot of Canadians would fear for their lives if they were to enter the United States, with the fear of being picked up by immigration. In the latest data for October, the number of return trips among Canadians traveling to the U.S. dropped by 24% for air travel and 30% for land travel, compared with the same time last year. That marks 10 straight months. And we're seeing a lot of tourism decline in such places as Vegas, Florida, and the boycotting of US-made goods such as whiskey. And I honestly do not blame the Canadians at all. You guys are standing firm on your decision, and I completely support it.
A new poll finds that over half of Canadians say they no longer feel welcome in the U.S. That's right, only 34% of Canadians said that they trust Americans. 53% said that America as a country could not be trusted, and 75% said that American rules governing trade are unfair to Canada. And despite all this, the poll also shows that the majority of Canadians believe that they have more in common with Americans than any other people in the world.
This is a lesson for every country, whether big or small, that power can make people fear you for a while, but respect is what makes people stand with you for the long term. The strongest alliances are not built on threats. They are built on trust, cooperation, honesty, and mutual benefit. The U.S. and Canada, they share one of the world's largest peaceful borders. Their businesses invested in each other. Millions of jobs, they depend on trade between the two countries. They have worked together on defense, intelligence, disaster response, and international security. And this is why so many people, they find the current tensions so disappointing. When countries that have trusted each other for generations begin exchanging threats instead of solutions, everyone pays a price. Businesses face uncertainty. Investors become nervous. Supply chains are disrupted. And consumers, they end up paying the price. And I think Canada diversifying trade is a good strategy to protect their economy instead of relying too heavily on one trading partner. Every country has its own interest and its own economy to protect. And when governments, they believe their interests are being threatened, they have to respond, Canada is one of the most peaceful nations in the world. And the one statement that got many people attention is one that came from a leader in British Columbia who said that if you can't be friends with Canada, then who is your friend, But let's hope the US and Canada can overcome these disagreements because both countries, they ultimately need each other because when they fight, it is ordinary citizens who pay the price. So thank you so much for tuning in. Be sure to like, subscribe, and share. Have a good one. I'll see you in the next video.